To the extent you want to be strong, to be connected to the earth's power, you got to be able to sink your way into the earth and let that return up through your arm and out like that. So he's got his resistance. It's when I release his weight, his pressure upon me, I'm carrying it with my fist, carrying it with my shoulder, carrying it with my feet right now. When I release that and let it go into the ground, then I'm comfortable, and the ground gives me something back, and that makes it easy for me to push into them. So if I don't have that root, if I don't release into the ground, right, then I'm floating, and I'm not falling over per se. I'm just like the the balloon person once again. Before you are holding yourself up, but when you let go into the earth, you feel the earth is supporting you. There's a certain firmness that rises up. There's one critical point that you have to pass that people kind of know about, and some people know about very well. Some people know about a little bit. I'm going to make sure everyone knows it really well. Sound good? You feel a change in the tension in your neck, your posture. Push it down, and then bring it up again.
I feel it on the back of my neck a bit.
You feel on the back of your neck?
Yeah, it's almost like releasing a bit.
Yeah, it's releasing a bit, yeah.
Back to when I was first told about the puppet string.
Yeah.
I think I tried to almost lift myself up.
Yeah.
And that actually created a lot of tension in my shoulders.
That's right.
But then when I learned to have it come up from the feet and through, it feels much more relaxed, and the posture is still
relaxed.
better.
Yeah, that's anchored above and below, properly in space, so that this is the proper connection of heaven, earth, and men. Then this will give you your Tai Chi the right anchoring. And now when you move your hands with the internal energies, then your body will have a right rootedness. Because if I do it with only the... All right, thank you for helping me. Welcome to Digging the Tai Chi Rabbit Hole. So this one, we got a really good question, which is, as your awareness is in, your sensitivity, your listening skill is in your hands, in the ball of Qi that you work with in the 06 roads, and all of that stuff, how does that relate to your feet, your root, and all those things? Because doesn't your feet need to be rooted and stable and support you and all of that? And the answer is yes. And that will become a natural part of you. There's actually two important concepts to your posture in Tai Chi that forms the foundation of your movement. Just as your Dantian is sort of the foundation to your Qi control and all that stuff, there's an element of foundations, two of them, to your posture. One is root, and other is what is called Xu Ling Ding Jin. Xu Ling Ding Jin. So I'm going to talk about, which one should we talk about first? I'll let you choose.
Let's do root first.
Root first, okay. So root first is your connection to earth, okay? And without which you can be a little bit too floaty. So, we say we should have floating and sinking, expanding and shrinking our movement. If you let go of root and let yourself follow your hand, you will have very smooth movement, right? But by being too disconnected, you can sway beyond your base, like a
the wavy tube.
Yeah, wavy tube, like in front of your car dealerships and gas stations and stuff like that. Those advertising things. I was gonna say like a plant blowing in the wind, and it's nice. It's properly soft, and Taoism's full of metaphors of being like a plant blowing in the wind, right? But to the extent you want to be strong, to be connected to the earth's power, you got to be able to sink your way into the earth and let that return up through your arm and out like that.
Right.
And that is the essence of the power. If you go like this with your hands, right, and don't let me push you over. So he's got his resistance. It's when I release his weight, his pressure upon me, I'm carrying it with my fist, carrying it with my shoulder, carrying it with my feet right now. When I release that and let it go into the ground, then I'm comfortable, and the ground gives me something back, and that makes it easy for me to push into them. So as I release his force and my resistance into the earth, I receive the earth's support and power and the qi that is what we call yang, or sometimes what people call peng. So from this, he's blocking me nicely, I release, see, and the yang goes out like that. That having root allows that to happen. If I don't have that root, if I don't release into the ground, right, then I'm floating, and I'm not falling over per se. I'm just like the balloon person once again. But if I want the earth's power, it's got to release into the ground like that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that's root. So we have a sense of releasing downwards into the earth without disconnecting from the earth. The subtle one, the 虚灵顶劲, okay? So that is the force that supports our posture upwards. Xu means barely there, false, okay? Ling means agile or light, light. Ding means to support, and Jin means force, okay? So it's a barely there, light force that supports you, okay? And sometimes people are really fixated on developing power. So they really connect to the earth, really root, right? And push me. And they end up too much like this. So here I root in the earth. And that is not bad too, but it wasn't quite as good as before.
Strong.
Because what happens is as my spine curves, my ability to channel my chi in the manner of Tai Chi changes, and it gets harder to use Tai Chi. I know there's other Chinese martial arts styles that uses a flexed spine to generate power very, very effectively, and you could totally generate that kind of power. But for Tai Chi's brand of power, flavor of power, a straight spine is beneficial. And doesn't mean that if you're born or you live life and you have a curved spine, you cannot do it. It's that your intention has to be more straight. So what gives you that upward posture is the Xu Ling Ding Jin. Okay, so let's talk about how you have that. So we talked about your root, you sink down to the earth, and once you release in the earth, you feel the earth catch you, support you. Before you are holding yourself up, but when you let go into the earth, you feel the earth is supporting you. There's a certain firmness that rises up. There's one critical point that you have to pass that people kind of know about, and some people know about very well, some people know about a little bit. I'm gonna make sure everyone knows it really well. Sound good? So it is that how your tongue touches the roof of your mouth. Who's heard that before? Everyone, right? Which part of your tongue touches the roof of your mouth?
The tip?
No. Yeah, that's the most natural thing, right? Because like when you want to taste something, you touch your tip of your mouth, your tongue to it. So if this is my mouth, these are my teeth, okay? Your tongue's right here. It's actually the middle of your tongue touches the roof of your mouth. It domes up, okay? So if you actually, your tongue is flat like this, okay? And then the rising energy from the earth, it comes up. This is a yang qi, and it goes up the middle and it domes up like that, like bread rising. It rises up and touches the roof of your mouth. So do that right now. Just lightly let the qi float up and let the tongue touch the roof of your mouth. Do you feel a change in the tension in your neck, your posture? Push it down and then do it, bring it up again.
I feel it on the back of my neck a bit.
You feel on the back of your neck?
Yeah, it's almost like releasing a bit.
Yeah, it's releasing a bit, yeah.
So you don't really forcefully raise your tongue.
It's not forceful, it's just barely.
It's involuntary.
Yeah, don't try to dig a hole through the top of your mouth.
Okay.
You're like drilling through your. So yeah, if you meet like an oral facial muscle therapist or something like that, they'll tell you that your tongue, your mouth muscles have a big effect on your posture and your breathing and stuff like that. I met someone once who went to a Russian tongue muscle therapist, and they grab it and massage your tongue and yank it around, and they said it's horrendously uncomfortable, but afterwards you feel amazing. And I said, that's very interesting. I'm not sure I want to try that yet, but I can understand the principle behind that because we experienced it in a more gentle way. So it comes up and you'll feel that shift, and as that tension falls away in your neck, your song improves, and the supporting force, the qi, can now rise up through your neck gate into your head. Let that feeling rise all the way up to your head. So it's as if the qi that goes up on your tongue to the roof of your mouth is lifting your scalp upwards to your crown point, and it's lifting upwards from that. Okay. Now press down with your tongue. You can feel you put your mind on your feet and feel your self anchor on the earth, right? Still be aware of your feet, and then push your tongue up. You feel how that changes in your feet?
A little bit, yeah.
There you go.
You're dangling.
It feels like you were dangling, exactly.
Yeah,
you're dangling. I usually say that when you have the Xu Ling Ding Jin feeling, you're like a wind chime. You're dangling, right? And your body can flow.
Sways,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard often it's like you have a puppet string
A puppet string,
being
yes.
held up. and the
Puppet
rest
string
just
is a pretty good idea too. So once you have the tongue correct and some sort of lightly upwards feeling, I think the idea that the qi presses you up to lift you up is more complete. The puppet string is very good for helping you to loosen up in a certain way, and I do use that kind of analogy as well too. But being aware of both what comes from below and what's dangling from above, will help you there. The puppet string and the wind chime string is particularly good because the actual point of awareness of the Xu Ling Ding Jin, Xu means barely there or falsely there. So it's not actually your crown of your head. The crown of your head is very tangible and solid. It'll make a sound when you hit it. No, your awareness is actually going to go rise up with your tongue to your crown and a little further up to where your halo would be if you're an angel.
Right, or if I'm dead.
Yeah. Or so once you go there, then it's even more light, and that will help your body have an upwardness.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And so, go ahead.
Yeah, because I think I was sort of remembering back to when I was first told about the puppet string.
Yeah.
I think I tried to almost lift myself up.
Yeah.
And that actually created a lot of
Tense.
tension in my shoulders.
That's right.
But then when I learned to have it come up from the feet and through, it feels much more relaxed and the posture is still better.
Yeah. So and then this will fully stabilize you in your Tai Chi. See, if you have root but no Xu Ling Ding Jin with no upward force, then you're like those those punching bag that's like shaped like a person and it's like they call it bob. So you're like this, and then, so you're root to the crown, and then you're like that, right? And then if you have the string but no root, then you're like a regular punching bag, swinging,
right,
right?
A hanging one.
So when you have both, then you're like a double-ended bag that's anchored above and below, properly in space, so that this is the proper connection of heaven, earth, and men. Then this will give your Tai Chi the right anchoring. And now when you move your hands with the internal energies, then your body will have a right rootedness. Because if I do it with only the rooting and no crown, then I'll be a little bit too sway, and your Sifu might tell you that your hand is getting too far ahead of your feet.
Sure.
You're losing your balance. You're leaning back too far and stuff like that. Okay. If we have this but no root, you'll be like a
dancing.
Yeah, like a interpretive dancer type of situation, like that. And when you anchor both like that, then everything naturally has the right geometry that your Sifu will nag you to do, but you can experience and have more naturally and automatically. Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be great. Yeah.
So, did we reach the bottom of this rabbit hole? Does that make sense for you?
I don't know if we reached the bottom, but it makes a lot of sense. That was a good digging.
You're right to suspect that there's always more digging that's possible. Does anyone else have any follow-ups? We're good on this? Okay, so thank you for helping me illustrate this. Thanks for the great question. Thanks for watching. See you next time.